Dr. Thomas Ashton was obsessed, his life's work, reversing the relentless march of time. His laboratory buzzed with an energy born of sleepless nights and unwavering dedication. The air crackled with the promise of his groundbreaking invention, the youth ray. Ashton believed he could gift humanity with the elusive elixir of youth. Ashton wasn't driven by vanity or greed. He yearned to alleviate the suffering of the elderly, to erase the wrinkles etched by time's passage. He dreamed of a world where age was a choice, not a sentence. The potential of his invention, he believed, was limitless. But groundbreaking research demanded substantial funding. Enter William Carver, a ruthless businessman with an insatiable hunger for profit. Carver saw the potential of the youth ray, not as a means to alleviate suffering, but as a path to unimaginable wealth. He offered Ashton a deal fund his research in exchange for control of the invention. Ashton, blinded by his ambition and desperate to finish his work, agreed to Carver's terms. Together, they promised the world a miracle, a chance to reclaim their lost youth. Little did Ashton know, Carver's greed would have devastating consequences. The day of the first human trial arrived. Anticipation hung heavy in the air. The test subject, a terminally ill volunteer, lay on the table, his frail hand clutching his wife's. Ashton, his heart pounding, activated the youth ray. A bluish light enveloped the patient. For a fleeting moment, hope flickered. Then disaster struck. The patient convulsed violently. His vital signs plummeted. The room descended into chaos. Despite Ashton's frantic efforts, the man breathed his last. The dream of youth, it seemed, had come at a terrible price. Section 4. Betrayal's Sting. In the aftermath of the tragedy, Carver saw his opportunity. He blamed Ashton for the patient's death, painting him as a reckless madman. Ashton, consumed by guilt and grief, was easy prey. Carver had him knocked unconscious and alerted the authorities. The evidence he presented was damning. Ashton watched helplessly as his reputation crumbled. He was labeled a fraud, a danger to society. The weight of the dead patient's life settled heavily upon him. He was sentenced to prison, his dreams seemingly shattered. Section 5. Redemption's Promise. Prison was Ashton's crucible. Years of confinement provided ample time for reflection. He pored over his research, determined to understand what went wrong. He realized the flaw in the youth ray's design, a fatal miscalculation he vowed to correct. Ashton clung to the hope of redemption. He envisioned a future where his invention could fulfill its true purpose, to heal, not harm. This vision fueled his spirit, sustaining him through the long, lonely years. He would not allow his life's work to be defined by tragedy. He would set things right. Section 6. The Ultimate Revenge.
Upon his release, Thomas was a frail, elderly man, but his mind was as sharp as ever. Determined to fix his creation, he secluded himself in a small laboratory. Days turned into weeks and weeks into months until finally he cracked the code. The youth ray was perfected. With trembling hands, he aimed the ray at himself and activated it. In a blinding flash, the years melted away and Thomas was young once more. He stepped out into the world, a man in his prime, ready to reclaim his life. But Thomas had a plan. He needed to confront his former business partner, William Carver, the man who had betrayed him and stolen his research. Pretending to be a distant relative, Thomas approached William, earning his trust and forgiveness. William, now an elderly man himself, was obsessed with regaining his youth. He made a desperate plea to Thomas, not knowing who he truly was. Promising to share his fortune, William begged for another chance at life. Thomas agreed, but with a sinister twist. He set up the youth ray, seemingly ready to help William. As William eagerly stepped into the beam, Thomas made a final adjustment, his eyes cold and calculating.
William stood in front of it, heart pounding with anticipation. Thomas assured him that this would be the change he longed for. With a flip of a switch, the machine roared to life, enveloping William in a blinding light. When the light faded, Thomas couldn't help but smirk. There on the floor wasn't a rejuvenated businessman, but an 8-month-old naked baby. William had indeed regained his youth, just not in the way he expected. Thomas looked down at the helpless infant and said, "I promised you'd never grow old again, William. Now you can never hurt anyone ever again." William was trapped, forever an 8-month-old baby. No more schemes, no more betrayals, just endless days of infancy. This wasn't just a punishment for William's greed. It was a message, a reminder of the dangers of unchecked ambition. So next time you find yourself wanting more than you need, remember William Carver, the greedy businessman who will spend eternity in diapers. Thanks for tuning in, fiction lovers. If you enjoyed this story, don't forget to like and subscribe for more tales that make you think twice about what you wish for. See you next time.